Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Web Chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision 33. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that has been covered many times by many people, and that is digital transformation. However, we're going to try to do it a little differently this week, as I hope you'll see as we get more into the topic. By saying that over the last couple of years, several years, I've probably presented on digital transformation a couple of 3 or 4 times, but I've never really been satisfied because I have felt that somehow it always seems to focus on the technology rather on the processes and the outcomes and the purpose of it, and that it always seems to make it sound like it's a snap decision and a one-time deal and you've arrived, which is anything but the truth. So today, as we take a look at digital transformation, I want to add the word initiatives to the end of the phrase because I really believe it is a collection of initiatives that digitally transform an organization over a period of time. It cannot be a one-time thing and will never work like that. Of course, we're always talking about a cloud deployment. And over the years, a cloud has become extremely popular. Today, as you may have heard me say before, about 80% of all new customers deploying ERP systems at Vision 33 are deploying in some form or another of a cloud deployment model. And there are different models that we might mention a little bit about. So I just want you to understand that, as we've always said, digital transformation is a journey. It is not just a single destination. As the old saying goes, the journey is the destination, right? So the cloud is just a great foundation for the purpose of digitally transforming. And defining what digital transformation is always a challenge, but I've come up with a one sentence definition that I think can help. So it's simply this: automation and integration that creates better processes and experiences for employees, customers, and vendor partners. That's all it really is. And there are lots of things that go along into that, but that's what you're aiming at, right? Automations and integrations that create better processes and experiences for employees, customers, and vendor partners. And it's building a good foundation with the cloud that really makes this possible for most organizations. Another way of saying this is this cloud-based deployment model that we have needs to be flexible and it needs to be resilient. The pandemic that we've all experienced over the last several months has certainly pointed this out to us. Organizations that were not deployed in some form of a cloud-based model, many struggled to really be resilient during these times. And some scrambled to be resilient during these times to get themselves deployed in a remote fashion so that they could continue to work from wherever they were. The cloud-based deployment delivers a lot of value when it comes to dealing with surprises like we've all been through, and makes it possible for us to do business in a brand new way with ease and without a lot of frustration. So this foundation of the cloud is both resilient and flexible. I must tell you that in the early days, I was not a fan of cloud deployments. It just didn't make me feel comfortable. But over the years, as I've talked with many customers, they've told me that the initiation of a cloud-based server for their deployment of SAP Business One or ERP of any type that I've ever talked to, they've all said that the easiest part of the whole journey was the cloud deployment, right? That part went easily and it went fast as a couple of days from the day they placed the order to get their server up and running, and their project was launched immediately. And any changes they've needed to make over time have also been easy to make, and really the fastest change to resources like memory, RAM, all kinds of things that you might need to do to a server, more licenses. Everything goes quickly in a cloud-based deployment. No need to shut down the system, take it offline, that server, in order to make those changes as you do with a bare metal system placed in your server closet on premises. And so all of that just makes life easier and causes less pain and frustration for the organization. Once you've got that baseline established, that good foundation, right? If you don't build on a good foundation with a house, for instance, you could experience trouble down the road. You won't be able to expand your home. You won't be able to build on top of it. And it might cause the place to crumble and become unbalanced if it's not really built on solid foundation. The cloud deployments are very solid because they can grow, they can scale, and do so with ease, right, without disruption. So all of that is important. And once that foundation is done, I really believe that the second part of the journey for many people becomes the deployment of their ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, right? So, and what is that baseline? Well, people refer to it by a lot of different things. It's, the financials hub. It's where the financials reside. It's a data repository. It's where all our data lives, right? So many people see ERP as a platform for everything else because they bring all the data that they really want from all the different things that they're doing across their entire enterprise into the parts they need, into an extension of their ERP system. So for reporting and all of those sorts of needs and analyses and everything else, their data is there in one place. People refer to that as the digital core. You'll hear terms like this all the time. I'm one of those folks that gets to attend these crazy conferences, and they're always talking about things like ERP as a platform. That's the phrase one year. You'll come back the next year and it's digital core, right? So everything changes, but it remains the same, it seems like. Other people will talk about this is where all of our basic functionality lives and resides, right, is in our ERP system. And others will refer to it as the integration center because this is where we integrate everything else too, so that we can have that data repository, we can have that digital core. We do believe that in the end, ERP is a platform for everything. And it especially facilitates good financial management of the organization. All of that is really important. ERP is, the baseline, you might say, right? But the journey goes forward. Soon after you deploy ERP, and many people will deploy initially with other solutions simultaneously, whether that be a customized solution in some people's case that their whole network is going to use, or whether it be, warehouse management or a deeper manufacturing system than the ERP system offers out of the box. It's important to understand that no matter what ERP people select and deploy, that none of them are 100% complete. This has been a philosophy over the last 20 years that publishers have continually tried to sort of build a one-size-fits-all approach, and it doesn't really work. They can't put enough in them to do everything adequately for everyone. And so other products, add-ons, customizations, and things of that nature have really had to fill those gaps. And shortly after you get a great look at the ERP or you deploy it, if you've done this in kind of stages, right, you start asking questions. I wish there was a better CRM, customer relationship management system. We need our web store to be connected to our ERP system. You'll ask, is there shipping integration available? What about marketing? And they want to integrate something like HubSpot, right? You'll ask if you can deploy handheld barcode readers if you have a warehouse requirement. How do we distribute reports automatically? All these are questions that are natural and normal for not just one customer organization, but many organizations ask the same questions repeatedly during deployments. Is there a more sophisticated manufacturing system that adds on to the ERP solution? What about purchasing? They really want a better MRP for inventory management. And what about payroll integration? How would I do that? Can I do that? Should I do that? And can we take credit card payments? Are there other options for human resource management? Walmart is insisting that we automate, EDI, electronic data input. How is that going to happen? And is it even possible to connect our support system to our ERP system? So you can see that no matter what ERP you have, right, as you travel down this highway of digital transformation initiatives, none of them are complete. And you will always find shortcomings and gaps that you need to fill. And you can go a long ways by customizing, configuring, carefully constructing process solutions within your ERP system to satisfy most of those requirements. But as you continue to move forward, you're going to find that those gaps can't be met just by configuring your ERP system because it can't go deep enough, and that other applications, let's call them best of breed, are going to come to mind. One of the nice things that's happened over the years is that it sounds like we're going back to the future when we start talking about best of breed. And that's because the emphasis was really on building one meets all your requirements solution in an ERP. You'll notice even I have their ERP and Boyum B1 up in this picture in the center. And that's because even for the most basic of customers, almost 70% of Vision 33 customers who deploy SAP Business One also have Boyum B1 up, right? So even at a most basic level, there's something required for almost every customer in order to be satisfied with the functionality that they'll try to run their organization with on a daily basis. So we've gone back to the future, and now what we used to do was, because ERP systems didn't really exist as these self-contained solutions with everything in them they could possibly throw at them. We used to sort of bailiwick all kinds of things together. Inventory was here and financials were there, and we would try to do our best to knit them all together into one unified system. Didn't work so well because technology really hadn't transformed fast enough, right? We didn't have 64-bit servers. We didn't have solid state drives. We didn't have APIs that were adequate for those purposes where they could talk to one another easily. And so we did a lot of batch processing. Well, every day, let's take the orders out of the website and let's import them into the ERP system rather than integrating the two together so they happened in real time. So luckily for all of us still involved in the industry, things have changed. And all of those things have come forward so that truly deploying a best of breed solution around your ERP system can become one unified system. And cloud deployment is what makes that really, really possible in today's IT transformation initiatives. That's where really Vision 33's Saltbox application comes to bear. You'll notice that here around the ERP system now, in SAP Business One in particular, we have something called the service layer. And this technology, this service layer, is now available as of version 10, patch level 2, for not only those customers who are running SAP HANA databases, it's now also available for those customers running Microsoft SQL, right, database, because it's been extended to those customers as well. This service layer is really kind of a born in the cloud way of connecting to SAP Business One, excuse me, and allows, most importantly, for multi-threaded capabilities. The API was really single-threaded. It's still available. Many customers still use it. Many solutions still use it. But over time, take my word for it, they will be migrating to the service layer as it matures and is more robust than ever before because it will be very capable. One of the big problems we used to have with systems that were kind of knit together with best of breed applications before things began to change and technology kind of really began to do what we wanted to do was the overload of data, right? Systems, databases, computing power, nothing could handle the amount of data that when you knit multiple systems together and integrate them can really put on a server an ERP and the database behind it. None of those things could really deal with the volume of information. That certainly is not the case today, and the service layer being multi-threaded is one of the things that makes those operations, multiple integrations, and the data management requirements can be addressed and will work very effectively in real time and not on some kind of a one-off batch process just because that's how we have to do it based on limitations. So that's where Saltbox, something that Vision 33 has created. It's a born in cloud integration toolbox. That's what I refer to it as. And it's really kind of drag and drop. All the connectivity has been provided on the SAP Business One side, and it's kept up to date, of course, so that when the next version comes out or the next patch level, if there are new fields, new tables, all of that is kept up to date with Saltbox, and all of those mappings are already there. So that now integration projects are much faster, much smoother. They're done through the service layer, not through the API, and are very productive. And they can be more easily maintained, added to, and changed by customers themselves, as opposed to always having to go through a consultant to do that work for you. That's still a choice, of course, but many customers really want a solution that they can own and sort of manage their own destiny as it relates to that. So I would tell you that if you're really looking at this and you're going to do integrations, be sure that you look into the Saltbox solution. And it is not a solution that will only work for SAP Business One. It could be used to integrate other applications one to another also, because it has that capability, and it's just that in those situations, one half isn't already completed like it is when it's SAP Business One. So this could be, you know, the perfect time for that. You've spent 5 years building the perfect web store, and you don't want to change it. You don't want to use a different solution. You want to integrate that homegrown system that you absolutely love into SAP Business One, your ERP. Saltbox is the way you'll want to do that. Let me suggest that as you continue this digital transformation journey, that there are about 5 key disciplines along the way, of which most companies have at least 1 or 2 requirements in. And they may try to meet these, of course, you know, with out-of-the-box functionality in their ERP system, and many do, but others find that what's out of the box just can't go deep enough, can't go far enough, can't deal with as many things as they would like to do, and just don't satisfy those requirements. First of all, there's what I refer to as inventory management and movement. Now, primarily, inventory management is all about quantity, right? But movement could be about receiving, it could be about shipping, right? Whereas the management side is more about making it and acquiring it. So most of the solutions that we would see inside that discipline, and we'll go a little deeper into that today, will be about either movement or management of inventory. Secondly, we might see another discipline for analytics and reporting. Now, this is all about, you know, our the collection of data in our ERP, and suddenly all the data is in one place, and we can do a lot more analytics. We can do real-time analytical, you know, evaluation. We can have KPIs that are posted on a minute-by-minute basis. We can just do so much more when all the data is in one location. And so there's a lot of initiatives that come out of analytics and reporting requirements as a discipline, and that all organizations have to one degree or another. And again, sometimes those requirements could be met with out-of-the-box solutions, or they could be met with outside-the-box solutions, right? Best-of-breed applications that they currently use or might use in the future. A third area of expertise, a discipline, if you will, is what I refer to as employee empowerment. This could be payroll, could be HR, you know, could be a lot of different things that employees need, expense reporting, all of those types of things that really have to do with giving my employees a better experience in the future. A fourth area would be tax and accounting. This is obviously very important to folks in the financial expertise areas. They really want to be able to do these things on a robust manner. And so you'll see, you know, how do we automate tax reporting and things of that nature? How do we produce financial reports? How do we distribute them easily to those that need to see them? How do we drill down to the detail of the data and be able to see the actual transactions that made up those summary data numbers? All of those types of issues are important. And again, many of those functions might be taken care of out of the box, but it may require additional solutions to meet the needs of a growing, transforming, and scaling business. And lastly, and again, there's no magic with these are just my collection of boxes and information. There's what I refer to as sales and marketing and customer service. Believe me, that's a lot to put in one discipline, but solutions abound for all of these disciplines. And it's really important that the selections that are made are done with real knowledge and deep understanding of both the organization and its requirements and its business processes, and what the selections are that are out there. Vision 33 has very specific applications that we recommend, and we have reasons that we recommend those applications over others. So what I'm about to show you is by no means all-inclusive, but it is just a list to try to describe and demonstrate to you that there is a lot of selection and choice to make as you try to select these digital transformation initiatives in each of these disciplines. They must also be selected really with careful look at the return on investment, and they should be prioritized based on return on investment. If I'm going to put more money into my digital transformation journey, what initiative out of the 5, 6, 7 we select and believe are important to our long-term business model plan is going to deliver the best value? Which one is going to carry with it those automations and integrations that are going to deliver a better experience to my employees, to my customers, to my vendor partners, right? All of those will be the important things to select them with. So here's some examples of the initiatives and things that can kind of go along with each one of these areas of discipline. So first, we'll take a look at inventory management and movement. So you might have things like Boyum Bayaz, right? A manufacturing add-on. That's a possibility because Vision 33 has noticed that many of our customers that do manufacturing want a deeper solution. We have Bayaz. You might be able to get by with inventory management because I really just want to communicate to my vendors, what I have if there's an inventory and do some sort of vendor managed inventory stuff. So you might be able to get by with Vision 33's vendor portal, right, and make that a solution that works for you. Inventory movement now would be a little bit different. So here you might have Boyum Protomex, which is really a warehouse management system, right, with all of the barcoding capabilities and things of that nature. And if you're moving a lot of boxes on a daily basis, shipping full truckloads, have multiple warehouses across the globe, things of that nature, you certainly need a more robust warehouse management system. Things like shipping become imperative. So there's Ship Easy, Vision 33 shipping. And under purchasing, you could even have MRP under this category because that's all about managing inventory. Velogix, which is an enhanced inventory planning piece of software that we've used much through the years. Integrations to things like SAP Ariba and product lifecycle management applications. Engineers love this stuff, right? Could all be initiatives within this inventory management and movement discipline that an organization might select as part of their digital transformation journey. You can see you're not going to, just by looking at one discipline, you are not going to flip a switch and say, we've digitally transformed. This is a long-term business strategy to be able to deliver those kinds of initiatives. Secondly, we'll take a look at sales, marketing, customer service. And again, this is a huge list, right? And all of these, by the way, are listed carefully in the document, right? So be sure that you get the document because I think sometimes when people see this for the first time on paper, they realize how much is out there. And this, again, is by no means a complete list. This is just off the top of my head, from sort of the Vision 33 priorities and things that we have done historically over the last 16 years or so. So a lot of it is all about automation and doing things faster and easier and on the move, right? So for CRM, you have possibilities like HubSpot, Salesforce, and others that are out there, right? Customer relationship management. It's about mobility. There are 2 or 3 mobile applications for SAP Business One that are possible and could be looked at. It could be about portals. We want the portal to do just exactly what we need it to do and nothing more. We've got the Vision 33 customer portal, which really focuses on what the customer needs, the ability to make payments and process orders more easily, look at their shipping notations and things of that nature. The employee portal, which could be about really helping my sales force in the field, especially as it relates to sales and expense. EDI, what a big project this can be. If you're really dealing with retail sales outlets, many of them demand, if you're going to do business with them, like Walmart, that you have some form of EDI. And if you've ever done kind of the manual equivalent of EDI, where you go to their website and you have to recreate all of the EDI orders, you very quickly want an electronic EDI solution like SBS Commerce. E-commerce. During this pandemic, I can't tell you how many customers have suddenly found the need for e-commerce. Things like Shopify or even WooCommerce, if you're very small and just have very basic requirements, all can be integrated through Saltbox, right, to SAP Business One. And there are many, many other e-commerce, systems and solutions and one-offs and customized solutions that could all be used. Customer experience management is certainly kind of a new area under this area of initiative, sales, marketing, and customer service. And it's all about what they call the X and O data integration. So you get a complete 360-degree view of your customer. So you have that O data, operational data, and then you have the survey information. How are they doing? How do they feel? What are they posting out there in the internet, and saying about your organization? When's their birthday? When's their anniversary? All those things that give a more personal experience. What are their buying patterns? What do they care about? All of that, and you marry those two types of data together to get a better view of your customer. Things like SAP's Qualtrics application or even SurveyMonkey can be integrated into SAP Business One, and HubSpot, which does a great job of helping you to capture a lot of this marketing information. And customer service and support. While there is support capability within Business One, like I said before, some of these functions all reside in an ERP, but seldom do they all go deep enough for every organization. And so solutions like HubSpot, Zendesk, and others are possible to integrate with SAP Business One. Why do I select those two? Because Vision 33 actually uses those applications in our SAP Business One implementation, and we have integrated Business One to those solutions using Saltbox. Other analytics and reporting, you might have simple things like Crystal Reports, HANA analytical tools, and if you've seen the new version 10 web client, that's an amazing tool to be able to use for analytics. And there are many other analytical tools in the marketplace that our collection of customers use and gather data from the ERP system. Making tax digital is a big one in the tax and accounting area if you're from the UK. Avalara is a solution that many customers who have multiple points of sales nexus across North America and other locations use to simplify and automate their taxes. Credit card payments, OMI payments, one we use a lot. ACH, right? We have that built in to our Vision 33 customer portal. And some people still use and are quite satisfied with Positive Pay, right? Where I send the bank a list of payments I want to make and they electronically process them for me to my vendors. Employee empowerment is an interesting area. We do have the Vision 33 employee portal. There's SAP SuccessFactors, payroll integration that people do. Most of that is taking the transactions from a payroll system, because most of our customers use an external payroll service, but importing those transactions into the financials so that they have detailed reporting on salary and et cetera. SAP Concur is an option that some of our customers use. Project management, there are many tools out there. One that Vision 33 has used successfully and we have integrated to SAP Business One is Smartsheets for some of the data that we want, and time card capture. Right? Those are all simple employee things that are out there that can be integrated to SAP Business One. So you can see that this is a journey. And today, I wanted to introduce this digital transformation initiative journey by sharing with you the basics and all of these different options. It may begin with a choice to deploy in the cloud. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do digital transformation if you can't have a server in the cloud. Right? There are all kinds of ways to deploy in the cloud. We're not going to get into that kind of detail about the cloud. And there are rules and requirements by governments that prohibit some organizations from deploying in the cloud. Some can do it when it's just a private cloud that's only used by them, but others can't do it at all. So if you can, I highly recommend that you deploy in the cloud. Once you deploy your ERP, and you may have some of these other peripheral solutions as a part of your initial deployment, the journey has only begun and it must go forward. Over the next few weeks, we're going to take a look at all of these areas in more detail and try to give you a better idea of the benefits and the journey involved in starting to attack any of these other disciplines as you look at deploying a more full digital transformation across your organization. So I hope you'll join me in the weeks ahead to take a look at those. And I'll see you again on another episode of Wednesday Web Chat.